Our program today is about Wings of Rotary, and we're really excited to hear more about that program and how our club can better plug in. But our friend Kathy Sheffield has a story to tell about Wings of Rotary. She's got to leave a little bit early, so Kathy, will you come up and share with us?
Well, hello, Rotary friends. Want to start by just thanking Kyle and Sally for speaking about Wings of Rotary today. And I want to recognize one of our club members, Dave McCroskey, and let me tell you why. His daughter, Sonia, was in the first group in 1985 to go to Japan. And then Dave led the group over, was it 1989? 87 and 90 led the group over. And for 30 years, this gentleman he managed Wings of Rotary at the district level and certainly at the club level. So let's recognize him for his service. You speak some Japanese, but here's sayonara. So this is the story though that I'd like to share. So Dave and I were chatting on the phone yesterday, reminiscing about Wings of Rotary, and we landed on another beloved member of the Stillwater Evening Club, Abe Hesser. So Abe served in World War II. Okay, he went down, was captured by the Japanese, and he served hard labor in a prisoner of war camp for a long, long time. He was starved, he was tortured. So you can imagine how he came out of that. So we always had a big Veterans Day program in our evening club. Lots of World War II veterans. And so one time, Abe shared some poetry. He recited some poetry that he wrote about that experience, and it was riveting, as you can imagine. So then, Wings of Rotary. So all of a sudden, we have these young Japanese students and group leaders from Japan coming to our club, interacting with us, staying in our homes. And you know what happened? Abe's life was changed. His heart was changed because of the interaction with these students. And he verbalized that to Dave because he was able to forgive. Right. So anyway, it was a beautiful story, and I think it's a great testament to the power and the beauty of Rotary and Wings of Rotary. So just wanted to share that. All right, thanks.
Thanks. All right, today, our speaker, one of them, I did hear that Kyle is on his way, so we'll try to get his presentation plugged in for the end, but at least we'll get to introduce him to you guys. Today, we have Sally Newey. So Sally and her husband, Ken, are both Rotarians. Ken joined in 2008 and Sally in 2015. They're both Paul Harris Fellows in the Midwest City Club and serve in the Youth Services chairs. They oversee student Rotarian activities at Carl Albert and interact at Midwest City High School, where they serve about 150 kids altogether. Ken graduated University of Oklahoma in 1985 and became a tag agent at the ripe age of 23. He was the youngest agent ever appointed to the state of Oklahoma. At that time, he still had hair, and it was black. We don't know Ken now, but apparently we know a little about what he looks like. Ken still owns and operates Tinker Tag Agency on Douglas. Sally graduated from Washington University in St. Louis in 2001, where she immediately returned to Oklahoma to commence a career in banking at Chase Bank in Midwest City. In 2020, Sally transitioned to Allstate. Ken and Sally married 4 years ago. Their family includes 6 children, 3 soon-to-be 4 grandchildren. They love to travel, spend time watching their grandkids, hanging out at their home at Texhoma, and Ken thinks it's Christmas during football season when they have all the family together for the home games. And she is also the chair for Wings of Rotary. So welcome, Sally.
Thank you guys for having me. You have such a fun club. I'm Midwest City Rotary Club is our home, so I actually got involved with Rotary when I took on a new position, and I've taught youth ministry at my church for 25 years. So they were like, you need to work with kids. So that's how I got involved. So we have 2 Interact clubs in Midwest City. Like she said, we have about 160 kids. It is crazy how many high school kids we have involved. So obviously, every year we have a ton of kids that are interested in going to Wings of Rotary to Japan. So my son went in 24, and he absolutely loved it. He ate all of the food. The food is one of the scary things for these guys, but my son just absolutely loved every bit of it. And so then Ken and I went last summer, 2024, not this summer, the previous year, as the chaperones. So we took 8 kids. We had we try to get kids from all over the district, but unfortunately, a lot of our clubs just do not know about the program. So I want to share some of the attributes of the program so that your club can get a little bit more engaged. I'm going to show you, this is our district website here that he's got pulled up. So every single thing that you could possibly need to know is on our district website. And I'm trying to keep everything kind of organized. So next generations, and you just go right down here to Wings of Rotary. And this gives anybody who doesn't even know what Rotary is an idea of what Rotary is, how we serve our communities. So it goes back to Paul Harris, its creation, and then what is Wings of Rotary. And then you can just click right here under more information. And it takes you right here to where it has like what we need from our clubs, what we need for our students to apply. So the application is right here, Youth Exchange application. Has anyone ever heard of Youth Exchange through Rotary? Right? Okay, Wings of Rotary is Youth Exchange. It's a short-term youth exchange. So typically Youth Exchange is 1 year, and so they go and they live with another family, could be Rotarians or not. It's all sanctioned through Rotary International. Simply because this is just 2 weeks, we don't have to do visas with Japan. So it makes it just a seamless process for us to have our kids go there, live, stay with these families, and then exchange. So generally what happens is our students go there the 2nd week and the 3rd week of June. They come here the 2nd and the 3rd week of March. So for years, what we've been doing, the group is decided in December, and so we have a hoedown. I have like a farm at our house, so we had it at our house for a couple years. Last 2 years, we've had it at a little pony barn in Midwest City. And it gives our kids an opportunity to meet the kids from Japan. So when they go over there, they've already met these kids. And the Japanese students are so, they're amazing. They literally, when you get off the airplane, they're there. They meet you, and they, several of them were there to help us to get from point A to point B. But Wings of Rotary is an opportunity for our kids to get out of Oklahoma and see this great big world out there. It is expensive this year. The cost of the trip has gone up about $100, so $3,100. Now, a flight to Japan is right at $2,000. The only other expense that this covers is their bullet train, which is extremely expensive. And then our district in the past has funded a little bit. So this year in our budget, we received $2,500 from the district. So that is it. Everything else is fundraised. So we have established or are in the process of establishing a Wings of Rotary board now that I'm the chair. And we need engagement from all of our clubs because we need to make certain that things are transparent, and that's why we have our application process. When you have a student that you want to apply, we want to make sure that everyone is fairly vetted, right? We need to have a board in place that decides that. And it's not fair for any club, 32, 33 clubs in our district, to have 3 votes, like that their kid gets to go, and then because Stillwater doesn't have anybody serving on the board, you don't get a vote. It's not fair, right? Not fair at all concerned. So we need members, someone from every club to be represented when we evaluate these students, when we determine who's going and who's not going. It's a really big deal. So it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and we just want it to be fair. So I need your help in having one person from your club that will serve as a representative for the Wings of Rotary. We have meetings, 6 meetings for the whole year. They're already scheduled, so I can give you a schedule of exactly when they'll be. And we have our officer positions on here. I'm trying to get a little thingy to go down. So on the website here, oh my goodness gracious, this thing does not like me. Okay. can see the club support, our committee that we have established as of right now. And basically what we need is just support from your club. We need host families. So what's happening right now, the dollar is very weak. So it costs their students, it's the same. It's $3,000 US dollars, which is about $5,000 to them. So the number of applicants they had last year was how many kids came here. They do not have our problem, which is that we have more applicants than spots. They can't afford it. Their clubs do not support them. So the clubs do not give one dime for those kids to go. The family is 100% responsible for it. So the financial burden has really become an issue. So now they're only going to come every other year, and the same goes for us for now. We're only going to go every other year. It's very expensive. When you arrive there, they literally will hand out envelopes to the families to take our kids and us out to dinner, to wine and dine us. So their clubs pay for all of that. The families don't. Here in Oklahoma, whenever you host, you pay for it, right? You don't turn in a receipt, you pay for it. So it's a really big financial burden. So hopefully this will only be through 2027 when we have our 50th anniversary, and then we'll go back to our regular schedule. But in the meantime, this is what it is. So we need financial support to keep everything going, to support the program, to keep it solvent, basically. So what we have at this time is a lot of applicants, which is awesome because I've been on this board for a long time and we haven't had a lot of applicants. But the word's getting out there through different programs like Leadership Oklahoma. We had 2 or 3 applicants the year my son went because Leadership Oklahoma was saying, hey, there's this thing Rotary does. A lot of them don't even have connections to Rotary. They're not kids of yours or grandkids or nieces and nephews. They're just people off the street that hear about it. So as Rotarians, we have a lot of promotion to do. We need to be telling people about this program. Now, the groups that are eligible are students ages 15 to 17. Generally, when they're 18 years old, they're adults, and we've had a little issue with that. So really like to have sophomores, juniors, kids going into their senior year. The perfect candidates because they're more mature. They're going to know a little bit how to go with the flow. It is kind of scary for some kids because you may be in a house without anybody else. Maybe you're the only student. Like they try to keep us together, but their houses are not like ours. They're very small. So we just want to, we do a ton of training. The kids have about 5 meetings. They're about 1.5 to 2 hours each. To prepare them so they learn some of the language. Because when you get over there, you need to be able to introduce yourself. You need to know some of their culture, their customs, the way that they live so that we don't insult them or do anything that makes us look foolish.
Sally, I'm going to interrupt you for just a second.
Yes.
Kyle wants to show his pictures. So
okay.
as you're still telling us about the program, Kyle, do you want to come and log in on the computer?
Perfect.
Okay, sorry.
It's kind
Go,
of sensitive
please,
on
go
the
ahead.
mouse there. So basically, through this experience, whenever we went, my husband and I, it was the big takeaway for us is what giving people they were. They gave, every family we stayed with gave us gifts. All the clubs that we went to gave us gifts. And that was one of the things that really stood out for us. As Rotarians, you know, at our club, we don't even give our speaker a gift. We don't hand them anything. We don't. Now for my internet clubs, we give them a coffee mug. I have the for the kids, but for our club, we don't do that. And it's a small token of just appreciation. And that's the way it was everywhere we went. We literally had a half a suitcase of stuff that we were given. And the kids, when they come and stay with us, we've been hosted since 2015. I couldn't even tell you how many kids I've had. And we have the chaperones. Stay with us too. And those kids, they get so much stuff. So the night before they leave to go back to Japan, one year, they had a mound of stuff on our kitchen table because they'd been given so much stuff, they were leaving their own clothes because they couldn't get home with all of it. You know, and they bring huge suitcases. It's unbelievable. But these kids come here and they are literally changed. I'm still in touch with gobs of them. One of the kids that we took with us, his name was Oliver. He is actually in Japan working right now. You guys met him, didn't you?
Oliver, yeah.
Oliver, okay. He fell in love at our hoedown actually with a little Japanese girl. So Wings of Rotary does have love. 2010, when Ken took a group from Oklahoma, there was a love connection that started, and they're still married to this day, and they live here in Oklahoma. He moved from Japan here. So countless stories of that over the years, but they're a wonderful group of people. I can tell you, one thing that we asked them about, what is your religion? And they were like, we don't really have religion in Japan. And we're like, okay, that just doesn't make any sense, because they're the most selfless people in the world. They'll give you anything. If you say, I like that shirt, or the kids, we had to tell them, like, when you go into a shopping place, don't, just be careful, because if you say, I like this or that, they're going to buy it. So just be careful what you say. But they live what Christianity is for us. Being selfless, serving other people, loving, they literally embody that in their whole culture. They ride bikes so they don't pollute. They walk so they don't pollute. You would think in Tokyo there would be bustling traffic everywhere. It doesn't exist. They commute. They use buses. They use subway. They do everything they can to make the world a better place, to look out for their neighbors. That's how they live. And so it's always fun for them to come here. And obviously the diet is very different here. One of the things that we always have to be conscious of is our schedule for them. Because when we go over there, we are going, and they don't slow down. So you'll be taking your luggage literally probably a half a mile through airports and this and that. They don't slow down. You have to be in shape. You've got to be ready to roll to keep up with them. But the crazy thing is, when they come here, these kids are exhausted. They eat our diet, and their bodies are not used to it. They are exhausted, wiped out. But the thing that we found to be true when we were there, we were all up about 4 a.m. because you're all screwed up when you get there. Every single day, all of the kids, we'd be on our group WhatsApp saying, oh, is everybody up? Yeah, we're up. It's 4:15. It's bright and shining outside. Looks like 8 a.m. here. It's crazy. And then we'd go until 10:30 at night, every single day. They eat late. We'd come in from a full day of activities, and they would have us say, okay, we're going here tonight. And we're like, okay. And then dinner's like a whole 2-hour, 3-hour thing, and then you come back home at 10:30 and go to bed. But we were fine, because we were eating this amazing diet, nothing like ours. So one of the biggest things that we took away was that diet, just trying to less grease, they don't eat cheese. They just don't have it in their diet. But there's so many fun takeaways from Japan, so many things that we can learn from them. Are you getting your pictures?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Got it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tag team it?
Yeah, sure.
Everybody, Kyle.
Yay.
I'm so sorry I'm late. I had to go get my knee drained, so little dilemma. Yeah, I didn't have time to change either, so we got here as fast as we could. But yeah, I went on the exchange this summer, or last summer. I went 2 weeks. It was the greatest experience of my life. It forever changed my life. And I met so many amazing people. I met Oliver there. He helped us out a lot. But and first of all, I just want to thank everyone here for sponsoring me and giving me that scholarship. It totally changed my life, so thank you. I just have a few slides to show with some pictures. So this is me, or I'll get on the slideshow. This is me with my host families. I had 3 host families over the 2 weeks. Right here. Here, I can't really. Yeah, And yeah, did you meet her? Yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, so my host families, they were awesome. I mean, as soon as I got off the train and got to their village, they just greeted me with love. And she was right. If you say you like anything, they'll just go buy it for you. That's just how they are. But yeah, the sun rises at 4 in the morning in Japan, or when I was there at least. So I'd wake up at 4 in the morning. I'd go have tea with every single host family from like 4 to 7. So I was with them. I talked to them a lot. So, but they were all great. They all just showed me so much love and accepted me. And they really showed me just how different the culture is from just how different it is from here. So just the host family, and that was my favorite part, is meeting all my host families, my host siblings, my host parents. So yeah, that part was great, and they were all just so loving and accepted me. So these are some more pictures. I had my host sister, Anna, and then I had my host brother, and his name was Kainu, and we would go to the arcade with each other and do all these games and everything. So yeah, they were all awesome, and I missed them very much. This is our team that I went with. This is Lily. This is me, and then this is Norioku. We called him Nori, but he was with us the whole time. He helped us out, and he was great. And he actually comes to Oklahoma with the Japan team. So he said when he comes to Stillwater next, we're going to go to Eskimo Joe's, get some cheese fries. So, yeah. Right here, this is when we just got into Tokyo or Sendai, but this is Jin and Gen. They were like our two, they just showed us everything. They showed us around. They're our little leaders. But yeah, this is right when we arrived. This is Larry, Anna, and this is just all our team. This is us in Komodos. They were very weird outfits, and we were getting taught a dance. It was called the Sansasa. So we dance and all that. They showed us everything. It was just a big part of their culture. I don't know if you guys want to see that, but yeah, I got a bad knee. I can't do that. So, but anyways, this is a really famous restaurant in Hanamaki. Is one of the villages we visited. We ate this huge ice cream with chopsticks. So that was interesting. It was very hard. It was difficult. So we tried that. That was fun though. Here's some shrines and temples. This stuff was really cool. Right here, we got a tour guide around the whole city of Morioka, and they showed us the shrines, the temples. They showed us how to pray to the shrine and to the god. So it was really cool just to see how like that part of their culture and the stuff they worship. And yeah, they don't really have a religion. They don't like. It's called Shinto, and it's like they believe in there's a god in everything, and just they accept everything. Like they're not Christians, but they celebrate Christmas just like we do. So yeah, they just accept everything. It's a really cool religion. But yeah, these shrines and temples are very cool. Here's some, I forgot to label the slide, but this is just some we traveled a lot, and I got some really good pictures. Right here, it was the Gaibi Gorge. It was something like that. But we took a little boat. We went down this river for like an hour, and it was just the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was like, yeah, an hour long, an hour down, an hour back, and it was just a beautiful landscape. This right here, we visited this cave, and it was the city around Morioka, but people were fishing in this little stream, and there was like a little log cabin, and then there was a cave right next to it. In the cave, there were bats in it. It was really cool. The sunset was beautiful, and depending where we were, we'd see mountains and like the sunset over the mountains. It was really cool. Just that. And then here's just some extra pictures. This is right here. We went to some schools while we were there. This is a school in Morioka. So it was really fun to interact with Japanese students because their school is a lot different from like Stillwater High School and the high schools here. But they were really accepting. They were really funny. Since like none of us really knew how to speak Japanese, we'd use Google Translate. So that's how we'd communicate with them. And it got confusing sometimes, but we made it work. So yeah, and then right here, it's the Japanese characters. I forget what it's called, but kanji, yeah. Both of these mean love, and this is one of my partners. But yeah, okay, this is, yeah. Yeah, so this girl, Avery, she was just one of my team members who went on the trip. We met like prepping for the trip, and we both got selected. But on the trip, we just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of funny. We kind of connected a little bit, and we're dating, but yeah. It's a different situation from Oliver a little bit. But yeah, yeah, and we're dating. She lives in OKC, so we make it work. So it's very fun. But yeah, we met on that trip, so that's another reason how it just, thank you guys for that one. But yeah, this is just some other just good scenic pictures. This is at the gorge. While we were going down the river, we got out and just got to walk around a little bit, and this is one of the pictures I took. So it was just really pretty. This is another thing me and Avery made at a school. So another picture of us. Yeah. And then this picture on the right, it's this was my very first room with my first family. It was probably the size of like these two tables combined. It was tiny. So this is the view from my little room. So that was just a really cool picture. I got to like every time I went to bed, I got to look out there. And when I woke up, I got to look out there. So that's awesome. And that's all the pictures I have. So
Does anybody have any
Yes.
questions? We have time for a couple questions if
when you saw this was life-changing, I'm just curious if you could just say a little bit more about why or like.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had both my sisters, they're older than me. They went on this trip like 10 years ago, and they told me about it, and I mean, I knew it was awesome, but I didn't think it would be like, just when I went, I wasn't expecting to get like, now I look at culture so differently, and I see how different it is, how different they live, and how like generous they are, and now I see not even just Japan, now I want to visit everywhere, like other countries, and see how they live and what their culture's like. So it really shocked me how different it was, and that just changes how I view everything now and how different they are. So.
I don't think he has a picture, but they helped at a beach. They did some community service. Tell me about the beach after the tsunami. What you guys did at the
So in 2011, you guys probably know, but there was a huge tsunami that hit Sendai in Japan, and that's one of the cities we stayed at. And when we were there, we did this little it was just this little service act. We would go to one of the beaches that got hit, and they were growing trees because the tsunami took out all the trees. So the trees, they would have vines growing up them, and it would kill the trees. So we went out there for like 3 hours and just helping cut the vines down so the trees would grow. So that was really nice because we got to immerse with the other Japanese people that are helping us, and we got to talk to them and like how they feel after the tsunami, like 14 years later or whatever. So we got to talk to them and see how they feel, and they were so grateful that we were there, and I think they love talking to us. So, yeah.
Rachel, we have one other question.
Okay, last one.
Brief comment. So my wife Judy and I have hosted Wings of Rotary kids from Japan 3 or 4 times back when Dave was active. These kids are unbelievable. When we had them in our house, they cooked for us. One of them was talented in flower arranging and just went out and bought flowers and did a unbelievable bouquet. Another one was into origami, left us a number of little keepsakes. Another one wrote poetry. And what I was impressed with is what a range of extracurricular talent these kids exhibited. So if we do this again, I would encourage any Rotarian family consider hosting. And Dave here was absolutely essential to that group's visit back when he was involved.
I feel like
in
Dave is the
Rotary.
Rotary goat. Good job. All right, let's have a round of applause for our speakers.